All right, so Kent says, I finally got around to typing up the email and getting it sent. This was one of several things that happened in my mom's house when I was growing up that I cannot explain. The setup of the downstairs where this incident happened was in the living room. There are two ways to leave the living room. One is going into the dining room, and one way is going into the den. Both the dining room and den had a door to go upstairs to where the bedrooms are. On the living room's far wall is the couch, and between doors going to the dining room and den was a chair and table and a touch lamp. I was 13 or 14 years old, and I was watching TV while lying on the couch. It was close to midnight and way past my bedtime, but nobody was home, so I figured I would watch some TV. While I'm watching TV, the touch lamp across the room starts cycling through like someone is standing there just tapping it. I'm completely frozen and didn't know what to do. After about a minute, I turn the TV off and bolt through the den and upstairs to my room. I jump in bed and try to think of any reason why that happened. While I'm trying to figure this out, the touch lamp on my headboard starts doing the same thing. I instantly cover my head with my blanket, go into the fetal position, and don't move. I stayed under my covers until I heard my mom come home, and then I felt safe and went to sleep. The next day, I tell my mom that the touch lamp went crazy like someone was touching it. She looks at me and says, "Yeah, it does that. You just have to ask it to stop." Confused, I responded, "I'm supposed to ask a lamp to stop turning on?" She looks at me like I'm dumb and says, "You're not asking the lamp." After that, I didn't ask any more questions because I didn't want the answer I thought I would get. A few nights later, I am up watching TV, and it's only about 9:30, and the lamp starts to cycle again. After a couple of minutes, I finally worked up the courage and said, "Can you please stop?" The lamp cycled off and stopped. After it stopped, I got up and went upstairs, turned on the light in my room, and slept with my light on. After that, anytime I stayed up to watch TV home alone, I would unplug the lamp. That's spooky too. I think any story that comes in, and kudos to Ken for sending that in. That was a great story, Ken. I appreciate you writing in. Anytime that anyone, like, it revolves around something that is unseen, for whatever reason, spookier. It's creepier. Just the action. And the fact that his mom was like, "You just have to ask it to stop." And the fact that his mom said, "You're not asking the lamp." I would have immediately shit bricks, and that's just the truth of it. I'm sorry. I'd be like, "Mom, excuse me, what?" Like, I wouldn't be able to control myself.
Well,
Zero chill.
I like how he's like, "I don't want to ask any more questions because I'm afraid of the answer."
Yeah, that's smart. Kent is a smart man.
I think
right?
I've spoke on this recently about demons. Some things maybe you just don't want to know the truth.
Very true.
And life is simpler that way.
Yeah, maybe.
And also, I would have hid under my covers the same way.
Look, that's the move.
And I have, like most of us have in our childhood. But asking it to stop and it's stopping is
dead on the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
I don't know if I would have unplugged the light though.
Because then what if it turns on again and you're super freaked out?
I didn't think about that. That would be worse.
First. I'm like, no.
But I was like, I would be more like, well, if I have to tell them to stop turning off the light, on and off the light, then I know at least where they're at. Now, if I don't have a light, they're going to get bored and who knows what kind of mess they're going to get into.
True.
Maybe they'll start wearing stuff around the house and make me realize that it's actually a ghost. Even though deep down I know
you see a sheet
something
floating
like
through the house. Oh,
yeah.
no, it caught on, Casper. Yeah, that's pretty scary. Now, have you ever anything like that? Anything random happen where if you announce it or you ask it to stop, that it's actually stopped?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine myself as a brave child asking things to stop doing things, but it's probably not a reality.
Yeah, I had one instance. And unfortunately, I'm never going to share it on this podcast. I shared it. I told China recently, and she's the only person I've ever told. And it's my proof for literally everything that I believe in my life.
Why wouldn't you share it on the podcast?
Because in like cosmic irony, it is an embarrassing as hell story, but it contains within it the proof for my entire belief system. And I think that's the irony and hilarity of our supreme creator, whoever you may call that.
So you'll share it at 1 million?
I'll share it at 1 million.
Million downloads or followers.
Tell you what, yeah, let's do. If our YouTube gets to 1 million subscribers, I will share the story, because at that point I will have zero worries of shame or whatever. So bring it on.
Yeah. If you have 1 million views on YouTube, you've already, there's one of those has to have been shame.
And it's a super short story. It'll be probably a letdown for many people, but to me, it's just something that I have to hold on to. I'm like, no, I'm not quite ready to release this into the wild. Like it felt like a personal thing for me. And so the only thing for me to do is exploit that for lots of attention and followers. And if that's what I need to do, then that's what I need to do, Christian. I'm sorry.
All right, that's fair.
But I did share it with China. I told China, she laughed pretty hard. So it's a story that apparently brought my wife great joy.
That's even better.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know where to go from this.
I once had a dream when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. And then I stumbled over a little step, like a step up in some dirt. And I fell and the credits started rolling.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Like the credits on your Life movie started rolling?
Just in the dream. All of a sudden, closing music came on with credits.
That's bizarre. That might be the weirdest. I've had a lot of weird dreams, but
it was my dream.
Yeah.
And I did not receive any writing credit, acting credit, or nothing. I was the only one in the dream.
That's some Truman Show. That's creepy. Yeah. That's where it gets weird. You're like, who are these people?
Yeah.
Wow. Had you just watched the Truman Show?
No, I was a kid.
So 1940s?
No. 70s, probably.
Oh, okay.
It was definitely 70s, but it was like an old backyard I dreamed of. Yeah, credits.
What if that was pointing to a simulation where you're like, it's all fake from that young of an age? You just kind of tapped into something there.
What it tells me is I was a variant. And right then, they pruned my timeline.
Yeah.
And put credits up to say this is for future study. Don't do this as a child. You will be pruned like Loki.
It always comes back to Disney with you, Christian, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brainwashed early by Disney.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah. So what do you think of those stories? Like we obviously we didn't set up too many because this is a summer break. We don't want to, I mean, honestly, we could talk about this stuff for hours on end and have a great time. But when it comes to editing something like that, that's where the pain starts.
Right.
That's where the tears come. And that's the type of work that I have saved for season 2. Summer break, Scott gets to chill out a little bit, relax,
right?
Kick back. So, but we did want to just give you guys a little taste for, what could be coming down the pipe, and give people an opportunity to write in and send in a few more of their stories. If you've been, a little lackadaisical with getting around to it, now's the time. Send in those emails. We are paying attention. Now's the time, like I said, because we are gearing up for season 2 and we want these stories. We really want to hear from you guys. Whatever it is, it's not too weird or it's not too lame or anything like that. Anything that is outside the norm of our listener base, we want to hear about it, because we can start piecing stuff together too. If we get multiple stories that kind of sound similar, be like, oh, what if these are all the same thing? What if this is, I like puzzles. Christian, you love puzzles. Heather, she's starting true crime. She loves a good mystery. All right.
Right.
So yeah, send them in. If you got stories, thegang@thefreakydeaky.com. We want to hear them. Now's your chance. Shoot them over. And while on that, I did want to touch on one thing that we got that is a little mysterious, and it's fairly recent. It's within the last couple weeks. We got one email from, I'm not going to go over their name and stuff just because I haven't heard back from them, and I really do not want to, put someone on blast if they're not looking to be talked about or whatever. Like, people's privacy is important to us too. We can say these are anonymous.
Yeah.
Just include that in the email. That's all we ask. Give us a heads up. Be like, hey, I'd prefer if you left my name out. Share the story, leave my name out. Whatever.
Yep. We're perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. We're your puppets. Work us as you will.
I thought we were the government's puppets.
Everyone's the government's puppets.
Okay,
we are exclusively your puppets.
Gotcha.
The government already works us as they will.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the email we got